Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Sunday Book Review for September 5, 2021, the 9/11 edition. As next Saturday is the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001, I'm going to take up some of the top books about 9/11. In The Longest War by Peter Bergen, he offers a comprehensive history of the war and its evolution, from the strategies devised in the wake of the 9/11 attack to the fighting in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iraq. Unlike any other book on this subject, Bergen tells the story of the shifting war failures and successes from the perspective of both the U.S., Al-Qaeda, and its allies. He goes into the home of Al-Qaeda members, rooting out the source of their devotion to terrorist causes, and spends time in the offices of the major players who shaped U.S. strategic efforts in this region. In The Dark Side by Jane Meyer is a dramatic, riveting, and definitive account of how the U.S. made self-destructive decisions in the pursuit of terrorists around the world, decisions that not only violated the Constitution but hampered the pursuit of Al-Qaeda. In spellbinding detail, Meyer relates the impact these decisions made by key players. Vice President Cheney, David Addington exploited 9/11 to further a long-held agenda to enhance presidential powers to a degree never known in the U.S., obliterate constitutional protections. That is the efforts of the American experience. Next up, Through the Enemy's Eyes by Michael Scheuer. Americans must read this book to understand why radical Muslims like Osama bin Laden and his followers declared war on the U.S. It explains in detail how the Islamic world was enraged by what they believe is U.S. aggression, and though bin Laden declared war on America years ago, not once but twice, the author argued that American complacence in the face of such violent threats stemmed from its increasing secularization and moral relativism of American society and culture. Next up, The Looming Tower. In this gripping narrative that explored 5 decades, Lawrence Wright recreated firsthand the transformation of bin Laden and Zawawi from incompetent and idealistic soldiers in Afghanistan to leaders of the most successful terrorist group in history. He followed FBI counterterrorism chief John O'Neill as he uncovered the emerging dangers from Al-Qaeda in the 90s and the struggles he took to track this threat. And our final offering is the 9/11 Commission report. And this is something I think everyone in compliance needs to read because it really tells a story of financial crimes compliance coming forward and how that has impacted anti-corruption compliance. In November 2022, the President and Congress established the 9/11 Commission. This independent bipartisan panel examined the facts and circumstances around the 9/11 attack, identified key lessons learned, and provided recommendations for America going forward. I hope you will take a minute to think about 9/11 and remember how much it changed America and for all of the people who lost their lives on that day. Check out the latest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network from the Editor's Desk, where I'm joined by Dave Leefort, the Editor-in-Chief of Compliance Week, and we take a look at Compliance Week's top stories. If you like another look at 9/11, check out my podcast series, Looking Back on 9/11, which premieres on Monday, September 6th, and runs the week up to 9/11. Interested in how to avoid a compliance disaster? Check out my series, Survive and Thrive, co-hosted once again by Courtney Nordrum. In this series, we take a look at 12 crises that could befall the compliance professional, how you would work through them, and lessons learned that Courtney has experienced that you can use going forward. Finally, I invite you to check out my latest podcast addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the ESG Report. In this podcast, I focus on the role of compliance in ESG going forward. I know you will enjoy it and, more importantly, find it useful. Thanks for listening.